Good morning, everybody. I always get confused which hand. Let me check my volume. All right. Very good. So, good morning, Chase, Barbara Ward, Kathy Marino. Good morning. All right. Carol Swisher, good morning. So, what did everybody think about yesterday, huh? I thought it was pretty cool. So, let's do our mantra. I am the soul. I am the light divine. I am love. I am will. I am fixed design. Just let that light come down within you and expand out through you. Very good. You know, in the healing I do and teach, Kathy Marina said it was beautiful. You know, others are going to be coming, not always maybe going to know that far in advance, but the masters are all beautiful and so loving and want to let you know that they're there for you. Yes, I was talking about depth. You want to learn to be able to have depth in the love within you so that you have the capacity to radiate it out through you. And it's a very wonderful gift to have. That's why you can feel when Jesus was sending you energy, when I send you energy when you're here. Carol says yesterday was wonderful. Yes, I'm going to send it out everywhere. I just haven't, like you know, we're packing, so things always come at unique times, don't they? I am having a great day. I just had a great session with someone, and what more could you ask for, right? So we were talking about the initiations. I'm gonna skip that for today and let your mind settle in more on the love that you are and that connection to God that we're hoping to help support you find even more of, that greater trust, that greater belief, you know, like Jiminy Cricket used to be with his wand, believe. And if we all knew, and that really shows my age, I can remember wanting to believe, didn't know what for sure I was supposed to believe in, because he didn't really say, but I guess it was magic. And I guess what happened as I moved into life and reawoke, I found that the magic was God's love. Things can change, things can shift. You know, it's all about your perception, and that there's more perception than just the one we look at through our eyes. There's above it, below it, around it, you know, all kinds of ways as we raise in consciousness that things look. And that's why we're seeing so many new things come out into the world that people are inventing or building because they've begun to raise consciousness and have let go of the limited thinking that kept them in a spot. So on some level, that's what all of us still have wherever we are. It doesn't matter. We have a hood over where we are until we break through it and move higher into a different level of consciousness that lets you go, aha, that's what that's meant all this time, which is a great and wonderful feeling. and it brings a great peace inside of you. But I can really feel, excuse me, my larynx my finger spray. We're all going to have something that if your immune system's low, it's where it lies. But that one thing, so sorry, is usually where your greatest gift is. It's an interesting thing, isn't it? So, as you evolve and you begin to discover what your gift is it perception? Is it speaking? Is it loving? How is that serving in our world for you going to support everyone? And like I said, I think the other day, the greatest thing we can give right now is to live and radiate the love that we are deep from inside. And that love is the only way. Ego, power struggles, arguing, if you really can step back and see through those eyes, it's like children that throw tantrums. And if you look on a soul level, that's exactly what it is. It's people who are unevolved. So as we who have begun to work on our consciousness and to raise it can share our light and our understanding, perhaps there can be a blanket come over the world. I don't know where all of you are, but this morning the sunrise here was a deep, beautiful pink here in Florida. And I thought, what a grander thing can happen than have Mother and Father radiate pink over the land here. So I'm hoping that was everywhere. I don't know how it works. Not something that I focus my awareness to, but certainly it touched my heart this morning to see all the love. And to know that we're not alone in our walk, in our path, in our journey, in our desire for accomplishment. Not in the ego way, but in the way to become the service that so many before us have done. And to become a part of the vessel that gives God an avenue to work through. So, why did Jesus come speak through me yesterday? To begin to show you how you can be clear and allow a higher frequency to come down and speak through you and touch people, and you felt the energy. It was powerful. And I thank you for your comments. So it's hard to move further from that, but let's talk about control. Talk about our need to control life to be how it is. And that tells you the limiting factor in it right away, because it's not about that. It's about walking your truth and letting your love walk out from your heart before you and seeing where God's guiding you. Two very different things. The controlling person who lives in that way is got a shelter over itself, and it can't see more than that, and goes into big issues when it seems to be desired to be disturbed, because that's all they know. And I'm sure all of us have had control at one time or another, but it's continuing to grow, especially in this time of our world. Things are changing, but this is wonderful. Things always should be in changing. When they become, and it's always the same way, it's stuck, and we don't want that. Good morning, Marby. Hope you're doing well. You know, I talked to my grandson yesterday. He's 12. I don't have a picture here, or maybe I do. He was making himself lunch, tacos, and I go, well, his mother was at work. He says, but don't you know, I always make myself food. If it's at night, I go see what's in the fridge and I just do it. I'm the cook now. No, didn't know that. So my reaction could be a number of ways. I'll have to talk to his mother. I don't understand. But he loved it. For his birthday, I had gotten him cooking books because he seemed to want to know, but now he was making everything. So how do we limit ourselves by this control? That's my point. And he's 12. So whatever age we are, how are we still stuck in empowering the ego to hold us in a pattern that isn't serving you anymore? Growth is just that every breath you take, you breathe more in, more light. Allow the oxygen to lift and heal your body. You know, don't be afraid. If you've been shown and drawn to something, unless it's backwards, there has to be something positive in it. And the question needs to be, why? Why am I here? Why is this happening? This is interesting. What am I meant to learn? Instead of going into the human who simply goes into the destruction. And oh, this is destroyed and it's never going to be the same. So control has a lot to learn in it and to bless us with. So fear is the other big one that the ego has the grand time with, having you all be afraid of different things. But as you grow and let your relationship with God become more, you'll know that God's always there with you, and there is nothing stronger than God's light. Absolutely nothing. And your ability to hold that light and allow it to be that strength is your greatest protection. Let's see here. Everything's shifting for a minute. Cavell, good morning. Oh, yes. So, fear. What are you afraid of? First word then that comes to me is jealousy. What are you jealous of? That doesn't even pay to have jealousy. What another person's life isn't meant to be yours. And in having jealousy, you're betraying yourself to not want to get into yourself and discover what your gifts are. Or what is it about you that is unique and special and innocent. It's just there's so much you learn upon this path that why hold yourself stuck in a pattern that perhaps is all drained out and not working anymore? Start anew. Flip the page. However that has to be for you. So, do we have any questions coming up here today? I want you to be willing to talk to me. That has been happening, but the conversation can be between two people. Yes, it could be between you and Jesus, like yesterday. But, yeah, good morning, everybody. And I'm sure we all wish everyone well. So maybe we can add to support people in their openness. So here's something from Chase. I accept and receive all higher guidance, which is there for my highest good. Excellent. There's one little bit I could add to that for you, if you like. I am open to receive all that God would like to give me, for I am. So there's prosperity, anything that's God's, allow it to be brought to you. So to receive higher guidance, there is a piece that you must keep walking and clearing the 144,000 parts of you so that consciousness grows. The light around you at some point will be seen. Even if you're on YouTube, you can see people's auras as they integrate and express themselves. So there's a piece on your part you must do to allow that reception to happen. You see? Very good. We have to ask ourselves, what is the weather teaching us? All the heat. Here we've been having terrible thunderstorms every afternoon. And I do understand that Florida is usually a 4 o'clock rainstorm. But it's not like the clockwork it used to be. We came and visited Doug's mother during that time. And it was a half an hour and it was gone and you went about your business. This now is a fighting, thundering, lightning storm. And what does it all mean? Wherever you are, our America is under siege by Mother. If I may say it that way to you, she is responding to the fear, the disrespect, the forgetting. What are some of the even more powerful words? The fires are her anger. Oh, does Mother have anger? Well, we all have all things. It's dependent on how we have control over them and mastery. But there are times, as of now, that the earth is changing. So America's changing. What does it mean? What does it mean? Remember, the earth is within us. So it means there's a lot of things inside of each of us that we have to touch with love and bring about into a balance so that we can help support the existence of the light that, like this morning, was beautiful here. Pink love. Did anyone else see that anywhere? Yeah. The water can be very cleansing. And then I watched the other day and more sharks are coming up on the beaches because the water's warmer. And it's colder out in the water. So it's all interesting. And why is it all happening? What have we in our consciousness thought of to have these things happening around us? And that's the interesting piece to discover. For we are all a piece of what we see. Our thoughts go out and go around and around and around. They never dissipate. So you had rain yesterday in Dallas, Texas, too. Yes. While we all used to have different climates, it's like becoming one. Now, there's a time when that would have been good if it was a good climate. But we as humans don't tend to like all these floodings and fires and too much heat for humans to live in. So what is it that we need to do and begin here to have that change, to ease that traumatic experience? And rain is a good thing. So here's Barbara. What I have come to realize is that learning and changing is an ongoing process. I can see my own growth, that when I encounter a situation, my question is, what is this teaching me? It's exactly what I said earlier. So, what is all this disruptive energy around us happening. And we are people of an aware consciousness that's growing, that we can help support, that we can do something. Perhaps we can envision a blanket of the most highest pink light of the third ray of Orion and just see it wrap the earth and let the love not only touch on the outer core of the earth, but go within for calming, to let her know we're here. Good morning, Julie Johnson. Have we ever all thought to do that? And then maybe we need to give it fifth ray from Hilaron, green ray, and let's let a blanket of healing come out around the earth. We can do these things every day. It doesn't take but a moment. Energy follows your thought. As you think it, so shall it be. And we'll let that green ray be accepted down into the inner core of the earth. Yes. And then we'll bring the yellow ray of wisdom and illumination. And I want to bring the word choice with that. Let's call in that yellow ray, illumination, Cassiopeia, and just blanket the earth with the wisdom of saving, being in truth, being balanced. How's that? That's the best word. Being in balance, bringing to not only you and me, but the earth, the land, the homes, the people, the air we breathe, all of it, letting it find balance instead of demonstrating the arguing. So now we must talk to the people. Yes, it's understood. We are not able to interfere with people's will and change them. But we can certainly send a loving energy to all of those. We'll do it in a couple parts here. For all of those who are the higher hierarchy of our land and world, through every country, whoever that is. And let them be given a white piece of clarity. So this blanket for them is going to be a clarity for here, for Ukraine, for China, for Switzerland, for everybody. Let's bring this beautiful, white, generous energy of clarity to all those people. And then I want to bring the blue ray, the will, the willing to do to the human race, which is all around the world. And I have met some other blue planets that have humans similar to us. The ones I've talked to tend to be more evolved. I've asked them to come and help us. But their concern was, and if I've said this before, I'm sorry, they don't want to catch what we have, which is reluctance to change. Because they're enjoying their being beyond that. So, will to do. Blue, the color of my background here. Down, blanketing over every human soul to allow itself to discover the willing to be love, the willing to act in love, the willing to eat, pray, love, right? Why not? Let's make it our logo for our healing of the earth. If only everyone could. Give up. Oh, Valerie, good morning. She's here from Switzerland. Yes. If we could only imagine us all holding hands and being so connected to God that this wondrous energy, like what we all experienced yesterday, begins to permeate through our skin and out into the world. What would happen? Just think of that. Let's see if we can have that vision now to honor our Father in those words, how Jesus spoke them, and just know that we're touching a part of our oneness. And as it radiates upon the earth, down within the earth, and out around the earth, feel, and the word is the harmony. The music of the spheres begin to play the music, which can be a one note that is never ending. And as the electrical connectedness of holding hands, it is just moving, 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 moving. Oh, and how wonderful would that be? Just let your beingness now be the vessel to allow that current of hope, that current of believing, that current of everlasting, of love. Allow it to be. I don't know about you, but my hands are pulsating, my heart's pulsating. I can feel myself becoming larger than I am in this moment. In form, I'm becoming stretched, and angels come to help. They out around us have their own holding hand ceremony, reaching and keeping their electrical energy in hope and in love and in freedom. Dare I forget the word freedom, Saint Germain, I'm so sorry. And as we blanket the earth with the violet, transformation of all ill, of all discord, of all separation. And let it be so, and let it be done. And did you know it only takes one person to disbelieve to not allow it to be? So we have to work on that. Energy follows thought. And when the experience of the heart has become true, there isn't anything you can't manifest. If you can breathe it, feel it, and see it as so, with your alignment into God's heart, why not? Why not be free? Powerful. I see all the beings holding hands becoming one. And there's this beautiful light blanket coming around the earth. Brilliant like a star. You know, the earth is a star. It's just forgotten. We are stars. We've just forgotten. Excellent. There is power within the soul, but there is even greater power within the joining together and becoming a one that exists. You know, in the higher dimensions, like they no longer have an individual identity. They are truly part of the whole. And you see, for us many, right now, that doesn't seem like something you would want. You worked hard to be who you are. But can you hear it? You worked hard to have this identity, whether it's in the family and society, at your work. Yeah, think about it. We gotta let it go. Eventually it will. Sooner the better. But yeah. I thank you for helping me share with the world today change. Change is such a powerful word. It frightens people. What is frightening in the unknown to you is just where you've been before. And there'll come a point in time when you will know that and remember. All those who become enlightened remember, I've always been. So, you can write them down and contemplate them if you want. So think about what you're afraid of already is. You've already seen it. You've already been it. So then you must ask yourself, why am I afraid? Because you came back to earth again for something. And maybe it was to become not afraid and to remember all of who you've worked to be and allow it to be free. All right, light shattering there. Any questions before I go? I'm at my 30-minute mark, but I'll wait a minute if anyone has any. I hope you all shared Jesus out to your friends, giving them the opportunity to hear his words and have the experience with him. Here's Barbara saying thank you. That was beautiful and much needed healing for our planet. I welcome and appreciate we can use this as a guide. Yes, doesn't have to just be here with me. Be empowered in that alignment you have with Father and radiate it out. The earth needs it. Mother needs it. You see? Anyone else? All right. Why do we choose a certain form? Do you mean human? Oh my. Oh, thank you, Julie. Val, did you hear me? Do you mean human form? Yes, okay. Took me a minute to see it. Well, before you come, there's a lot of controversy and discussion about where you're going and what you're going to be, or if you're going anywhere. We all have our place we retreat to in space and time when we are not incarnated in some way. So it's dependent upon your journey as to what you choose. The human form is to learn who you are. It's to grow spiritually. It's to understand that perhaps many of the pieces you need for ascension you've already done, but why would you forget them? So those fears and controls, that's what we're talking about today, are going to come up so you can grow. And then one day, you won't forget. Okay, these are all that. So I hope that answers for you. All the different places in the world there are to live, in the universe even, there are lessons there. There are places that are all about machines. And you either work on machines or you become a machine. So for those who've had that in their lineage and come here, you see how they've come here with no emotion, no understanding of give or take. So they're having a really experience of life, finding and discovering that. I've had people who had a unique voice and it was from somewhere else. And upon finally understanding it and embracing it, her voice became what we would consider normal. So there's so many things, and there's so many places that you've all journeyed. This isn't your first rodeo at all. But when you can begin to be at peace with that and to look at that, the gift then begins to come back to you, and you'll remember. Get rooted. You must be rooted deep into the earth to be safe. And that will prevent you from running away every time something unusual comes to you. You must get rooted. Okay? She agrees with Barbara Ward. Good. Okay. So remember, I'm not going to do Friday because we have Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday to pack. So, but I'll be here on Monday. And you all have a great weekend too. See us with our boxes all neat in a row. And because we're getting to where it's almost time to leave. And we'll be sitting in a new space. We'll see what that'll all look like, right? And so that may mean that you're changing too. I don't know. Perhaps. You'll have to contemplate that. How is change touching your life as we're doing it here together on this channel? So, have a great weekend. Many blessings. And love yourself. It's the best ticket there is to ride. Many blessings.